What is up, guys? Python here, back in a familiar place with a familiar face here as we got the Mets Talk podcast now. You got Rangers Talk, now you got Mets Talk, and maybe you aren't new, maybe you are new, I should say, and this is your first time, which if that's the case, be sure to leave a like on this, subscribe if you guys are new, and turn on your notifications if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Give us a follow, give us a review, and we got a lot to talk about when it comes to the Mets, but before we do, Nico, are you personally tired of a girl like you got to pay a nickel for her to tickle your pickle? Well, thankfully, my friends over at Manscaped, they have you covered. They are the best in men's below the waist grooming. Their products are precision engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's performance package, the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped, and you can get 20% off and free shipping using the code Python at manscaped.com. Who doesn't like 20% off? Who doesn't like free shipping? Go to Manscaped. And that is 12 million balls right there that are being saved by Manscaped. So why won't you trust them? Lawnmower 4.0 is great. They got it all. Also, be sure to check out TickPick if you're trying to get to a game.
Oh
So, yeah, enough talking about balls now. Although we're going to talk baseballs because this is
yeah.
Nico's first time here in the Manscaped plug because he went MIA for a bit.
Oh
On
yeah. We're back.
vacation.
Had to
So
get a
yeah,
little getaway going, but we're here. So
how was the vacation? Where'd you
it
hit
was
up?
great, man. I mean, it's good to get a little break, but now we're back, ready to talk about the Mets, and they've been exciting. So I'm hyped.
Yeah, one of the best teams of baseball. Even though we're celebrating like we won the World Series, I get it, Yankee fans, um, but no, it's been a crazy week here ever since the All-Star break. They dropped 2 games at first to the Padres, and that's when the panic started that, oh, here comes the post All-Star break downfall. And ever since then, they have been 4-0. So things have been great. The trade deadline's coming up, so we got a lot to talk about there. The Mets have made 2 moves since the All-Star break. They got Vogelbach and they also got Tyler Naquin, which we haven't seen Naquin play yet, but what are your thoughts on those trades? Because I think that both of them are great personally.
Oh yeah. I mean, starting with the Daniel Vogelbach trade, he was a cheap price. Why not just get him a great lefty bat? And the Mets need a DH. I mean, JD Davis isn't working. Dom Smith, of course, as we know, is just not the answer as well. So get a good lefty power bat in Daniel Vogelbach. And ever since he got to the Mets, he's been fantastic. So, I mean, he's been a good fit here. I mean, the Mets can go after another DH possibly, and the depth would be pretty insane there. But I'm very happy. Got him at a cheap price. So it was low risk, high reward type situation there. And then with the
I
Naquin
agree.
trade, oh, if you did you want to
Oh no,
say something?
I was just saying that I agree. I thought that you were gonna cut off a go.
Oh yeah, nah, and then back to the Naquin. I mean, I heard he's a good fielder. I don't know, just a depth piece probably there. You also got a bullpen piece. I don't even know how to pronounce his
Uh
name.
Deal. I forgot his first name though.
Yeah, DL. So hopefully that could be something there. But again, just a minor trade. So I
Yeah,
like it. I like what Epler's doing, and I think there's a couple more moves to come for sure.
completely agree there. And if there is not any more moves, I'll be very disappointed. But yeah, I agree. The Naquin deal, great because Travis Jankowski, love the guy, but he reeks when it comes to the offense. He cannot
Oh yeah.
hit water if he fell out of a boat. He's just not good with at the plate. He's stringing a string of spaghetti up there. He's just not good. But in terms of Naquin, he's a solid piece. I don't know how he is in the field, but I know that he's way better at the plate than Jankowski, and that I'll take. And then Vogelbach, yeah, the guy cannot hit a lefty if his life depended on it, but
Mhm.
he has been great otherwise, and I'll take it. And especially if they get the name that I want them to at the deadline, then you're in a scenario where he's probably just going to be a pinch hitter either way, so you won't have a problem there. And then Naquin, I'm hoping that he could run because Jankowski's base running we're going to miss otherwise because he was useful in those situations, especially with Vogelbach for the few days that both of them were on the team. You had him pitch run for him at certain times, and it helped out with the Subway Series walk-off win there. So I think that, yeah, you get a couple other pieces, you're looking good. Who do you want the Mets to get? Because it looks like it's going to be a package deal, whether it's with the Cubs, the Red Sox, or a different team that we don't know about?
Personally, for the Mets, my number one option would be with the Cubs trading for Wilson Contreras and David Robertson. I mean, Wilson Contreras solves all the problems at catcher. He's having a great year. Yeah, the price is said to be pretty steep, but I mean, hey, this Mets team looks phenomenal right now. I think you gotta kind of push the chips in and try and go for a big move like Contreras, where you have catcher problems. Tomas Nido just not a great hitter. James McCann, obviously, he's been out, but he's not the answer as well. And then you get Robertson, who's a great bullpen piece, which the Mets need. So that would definitely be my first option. And then I saw the resort option with the Red Sox, potentially JD Davis and Christian Vasquez, which I would not mind as well. But yeah, those two packages would be pretty phenomenal, in my opinion. Those are the two I want the most.
Yeah, I'm leaning more towards the JD Martinez, Christian Vasquez package just because of the fact that Vasquez, he doesn't hit the way Contreras does, but his defense is better. So you either get the guy that's good defensively and good offensively, or you get the guy that's not so great defensively, but elite offensively. And to me, it just doesn't move the needle if you're going to have Contreras DH sometimes, and then you're just going to throw Tomas Nido back there either way, or James McCann. I'm not a fan of carrying three catchers on the roster regardless. So I think that if you could get JD Martinez also, who, in my opinion, would be the best bat that you could get here at the deadline outside of course, Juan Soto or Shohei Ohtani. But JD Martinez, in my opinion, is the best bat that you could get out there. And I think that that definitely moves the needle there at DH. He could be your everyday DH, and then Vasquez could get back there, be the everyday catcher, and you're killing two birds with one stone. You're getting a new catcher that could hit, and far better than Tomas Nido, even though Nido's looked pretty good as of lately. But you get JD Martinez in the lineup, and you get rid of JD Davis, thankfully, and Dominic Smith, Travis Jankowski, all these garbage bats. And the fact that the Mets are doing this without having a deep bench right now is absurd to me. So if you could get that sort of package, I'd be down for that. And then on top of that, if you could get Robertson, I think that really moves the needle.
It does. I mean, Robertson's a really good bullpen piece. The Mets can use it. They've had, Diaz, of course, is looking like the best closer in baseball right now. They have a couple good pieces, but Lugo's just not the same. I don't know about Drew Smith. They could really use another guy like Robertson. Of course, also the dream, Juan Soto, Shohei Ohtani. Those are, of course, some of the best names in baseball, but it just doesn't seem realistic. Soto, I mean, his cost is going to be insane,
And
and
within the
doesn't look like
division,
the Mets
no
want
way.
to. Yeah, the Nats wouldn't trade him anyways to the Mets, but Shohei Ohtani, I don't think they will be trading him as well. The Angels, I think they'll both stay put.
I agree. I think that both of these are more off-season moves either way,
Yeah.
which that would make it for a crazy off-season. But I just don't see how you trade a player of that caliber within the next 4 days here. I
Yeah.
just don't see it happening. I know the Nationals have kind of had more time, but with Otani, I think that it's the chances are probably 99% that he stays put in Anaheim. I'd say Soto more likely than Otani, but to me personally, if the asking price is true with the top four prospects, so if that is the case, that would be they want from the Mets. Let me try to get that up. They would want Francisco Alvarez, Brett Beatty, Ronnie Mauricio, and Alex Ramirez. And to that, I would do it personally in a heartbeat. I know a lot of Met fans would be hesitant there because they don't want to give up Alvarez. But to me, if you have a chance to get this type of player, a once in a lifetime player, truly once in a lifetime player, you're not going to find someone that could hit and pitch every day. If you could get that for that price, I'm sorry, but I'm doing it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. Like players like Shohei Ohtani don't ever rarely hit the trade market, but he's still young, could pitch and hit, as you said. Yeah, it would suck to part ways to the number one prospect in baseball and Alvarez and other good prospects in Beatty, Ramirez, and Mauricio. But I mean, if the opportunity's there, you got to go get Shohei Ohtani, especially with the team you'd have around him still.
Yeah, completely agree with that. And in terms of that, either way, when it comes to most of these prospects, you look at Beatty, third base, yeah, there's a hole there, but realistically, I feel like that's a hole that you could fill because you still have Mark Vientos in at that point. So you could still fill the hole there. You just drafted Jet Williams, who could come through the pipeline and play third base because he was drafted as a shortstop, but we know he's not going there with Lindor being the shortstop for the foreseeable future there. Mauricio, he has no home either when it comes to that. Alex Ramirez, to me, he stings to lose because it hurts to lose one of your only outfield prospects, because after that, you're looking at Khalil Lee, Nick Plummer, who have not looked good in Syracuse. And then after that, it's Simon Juan, who's the next top outfield prospect. He's not projected to come out until 2028. So, yeah, that would probably suck to lose him. And then Alvarez, yeah, the number one prospect. But look what happened with Jared Kelenic. He was a top 3 ranked prospect, and he has not looked good with the Seattle Mariners so far. So I'm not saying Alvarez is going to follow that same trajectory, but you could still fill out the catcher spot at some point there. And to get a guy of Ohtani's caliber, you do it in a heartbeat, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the odds of Alvarez, Beatty, Mauricio becoming a Shohei Ohtani type player is pretty low. So, I mean, the opportunities there. I think the Mets would do it, honestly. Like, if they're really serious about trading Ohtani. We saw Epler had discussions with the Angels, but I don't know how serious that is. But again, if the opportunity's there, you got to pull the trigger and go all in here.
And you're talking in terms of the opportunities being slim just with coming to hit, because Ohtani could also pitch at an elite level, which is ridiculous. And
DeGrom stayed healthy. I mean, that would be insane. DeGrom, Scherzer, and Ohtani.
And you could even throw Ohtani in the bullpen if you have to. I mean,
Exactly.
This rotation's deep enough. And yeah, if you get Ohtani, you could either put him in the rotation, run a 6-man rotation, or you're looking at a scenario where Bassett could go to the bullpen. Just the opportunities there at that point are ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
And because the fact that we're talking about Tyler McGill coming back and now he might go in the bullpen when he comes back, that's just ridiculous to me. And the Mets just are loaded when it comes to starting pitching, but the bullpen, not so much. And they need to get a lefty, man. They need to get a lefty.
I mean, what are the lefties out there? Like, I saw they were linked to one lefty. I forget what, if you
Andrew
can remember.
Chafin. He's the only guy that I know.
That would be a good piece. The Mets don't have any really reliable lefties. They could really use one.
I mean, Joely Rodriguez, no.
Oh, yeah, that was bad.
When's the last time this guy pitched?
Had to be for at least a couple weeks.
Yeah, July 24th. Come on. And that was the game also, the famous game where he allowed 3 runs, and that forced us to bring Edwin Diaz into that game when he had no business being in that game.
Yeah. So. That sucks having to bring him in such a harmless spot, I felt, but had to happen.
He's so bad. And that trade, I'm still not even mad for, because I thought Miguel Castro was kind of overrated by this fan base either way.
Yeah.
So I didn't mind that because you get a lefty, but Rodriguez,
how's he doing with the Yankees, though, Castro? I haven't really seen.
I know that he's hurt right now. I know before he was hurt, he was doing decent, but it's not like he was killing it. Nothing. Yeah, he's just your 7th inning guy there. I'm still fine with it at the end of the day. You needed a lefty in that bullpen after losing Aaron Loup, and did it work out? No, but Aaron Loup has not been working out in Anaheim either. So, but who knows if the Mets go back and end up trading for him if the Angels are going to sell at the deadline, which it's looking like they're going to. And how funny would it be if they got Loup back?
Oh, my God. I would love it. I loved Aaron Loup.
Yeah, same with me. And I think that there's a chance that he could rebound if he comes back here.
Absolutely.
And then Yankee fans, your dream from 2018 might finally come true where you get Noah Syndergaard on the Yankees. So all those jersey swaps, pull them back out, because it's looking like it could happen after losing out on Luis Castillo, which I wonder if the floodgates are going to open now with the trades, now that one of the big fish moved, which I think there was actually a trade that happened right before we recorded. If I could find that.
It was ridiculous. I mean, he's good, don't get me wrong, but they gave up a lot.
Yeah, I agree, but I think that he's going to be so good once he's finally out of Great American Ballpark.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Phillies made a trade. They got Sosa from the Cardinals for Jojo Romero. Sure, but I mean, a trade's a trade.
Doesn't move the needle for them necessarily.
No, not at all. But a trade's a trade. So hopefully the floodgates open. And another partner that we haven't talked about is the Orioles as one, because obviously Trey Mancini's a guy, and they have guys like Tate in the bullpen. They have Lopez. To me, if you could get one of those relievers, great. But Mancini doesn't move the needle too much for me personally. I don't know about you.
Oh yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't know, Mancini. Like you already picked up Vogelbach for the DH, but I mean, yeah, when you versus a lefty pitcher, you can go to Mancini. But I think the idea of just getting JD Martinez as well as like Vasquez in a package really sounds more appetizing for sure. And then with the Cubs, Contreras, Robertson. Sure, I would like Mancini, but definitely not at the top of the list for me.
Yeah, completely agree with that. But it's better than what we're hearing from the New York Post that Mark Vientos is the fallback option. Really, Mark Vientos. I didn't realize that the Wilpons were still owning the team. We're gonna resort to Mark Vientos as the fallback option. If it gets to that scenario, I just don't understand why the Javi Baez trade has haunted the team this much.
Oh yeah, that was terrible. We traded for 2 months Javi Baez
but that trade never made sense because the Mets were already in a downward spiral, and it wasn't even just the lineup that sucked. You had so many holes on that team. The outfield sucked. Kevin Pillar was going out there every day for you.
Yep.
The rotation sucked. DeGrom wasn't there. You didn't have Max Scherzer last year. You didn't have Chris Bassett last year. The bullpen blew. Carrasco wasn't pitching the way he was, or the way he is this year. That team had way too many holes that Javi Baez was not. He wasn't going to move the needle there. So I don't understand why, when the Mets are now a legit team this year, let's be scared to move prospects for a top guy. No, you got to do it. You got to do it to make a big move here.
Yeah, that Baez trade was just felt so forced to like make a move, even though like it just made no sense to trade Armstrong. But yeah,
nope.
I had about that.
I hated that trade from the jump. I loved Javi Baez when he was here, but if you weren't re-signing him, I don't understand what we were doing. But yeah, we did it because Robinson Cano also.
Oh yeah. What a disaster. At least the other part of the trade is really working out now in Edwin Diaz. That makes me so happy. That was terrible.
Which I don't understand why the narrative for so long was the Diaz trade was bad, which I know he was bad in 2019, but he has been good ever since. Why do people talk about that trade being bad, but not the Lindor Carrasco trade being as bad?
Oh yeah, 100%. That trade.
I'm sorry, but Andres Jimenez has been better than Lindor.
Oh yeah, it hurts to say, but it's the hard truth.
It definitely is, and I know that right there we're gonna lose people, but at the end of the day, it is the reality. And then Ahmed Rosario, he hasn't been great. Sure, Josh Wolf, I don't know how he's doing, and then I think who was the other guy we gave up? There was some other outfield prospect. I think Isaiah Green was his name, but don't know how he's doing. So we'll wait and see on those guys. But overall, to lose Jimenez, it sucks. But here we are now, and hopefully Lindor could have a huge season down the stretch here and come up big during the playoffs, assuming we get there, of course, because we know sometimes with this team, all it takes is going 0-20 in August here.
Oh yeah,
and it's not out of the realm of possibilities with this team.
Never.
But
Never Mets.
We'll talk about this week when it comes to the Mets. So they started off playing the Padres right after the All-Star break. They lost the first game 4-1. And in terms of what happened this game, I don't even really remember. Who was it that pitched this game? Was this the right, this was the Scherzer game. Right. Where they scored absolutely no runs for him. As per usual. Yep. And then Rodriguez came in, added fuel to the fire there, allowing a run. Yeah, this game sucked. You had Travis Blankenhorn as the DH that game, so
disaster.
Yeah, that was that game. The next game, they ended up having Bassett pitch. Similar scenario. The guy had, I think this was that game, right? Where he had 11 strikeouts. Yeah. 11 strikeouts, allowing 2 runs. And what did the Mets do?
No, nothing to support.
Hey, 1 run.
1 run.
1 run. Got to give it to the 1 run. And you know what? A JD Davis RBI nonetheless. That's a rare breed.
How
That's a rare
fitting.
breed.
So fitting for freaking JD Davis to get the only run in a Bassett masterclass.
Yeah, and just fitting that he gets the only run when the Mets lose. Just
Yep.
seems very JD Davis like if he's not swinging and missing at a fastball right down the dick. Death,
Yep.
taxes, and JD Davis missing fastballs.
Oh yeah.
But then we'll talk about the positives because ever since then the Mets have looked great. They've been 4-0. Almost let that last game against the Padres slip away from them. Like we said, Carrasco pitched a great game. He only had 1 strikeout that game, which was ridiculous, but
Mm.
he still got us through with 5 innings, didn't allow a run. Drew Smith, he allowed a run, still looked solid enough. Lugo looked good, and he's looked good ever since, really. And then this again, Joely Rodriguez allowing 3 runs, forcing Diaz to come in for the save.
Yep.
Just a disaster. Just a disaster.
8-3 game. We needed Edwin Diaz to close it out. Terrible.
Which at least he's looked good this year because
oh yeah.
If this was the Mets of old and the Diaz of old,
that game was getting absolutely blown, no doubt.
I think we both were texting each other. I think this is the game where we were tweeting, no way the Mets just won a game that had low Mets written all over it because this was that game.
Thankfully, there hasn't been too many of those moments this year. I mean, knock on wood, but hopefully this will come.
Let's pray not, because thankfully then the Mets, we'll talk about the World Series, Yankee fans. We'll talk about the World Series as the New York Mets go in and they beat the Yankees both games. They won 3-2. Game 1, Edwin Diaz again came in and got the save on that, or I got the backwards. The 6-3 game was the first one. I don't know why I was talking about that game, but this was the game Taijuan Walker pitched. He had 3 strikeouts on the day, 3 earned runs there, and then the bullpen just shut it down. And crazy fact about that game, Diaz had the most strikeouts out of any pitcher that game.
No way. I did not know that, really.
He had 4 strikeouts on the day, struck out every batter that he faced because Aaron Boone made a boneheaded decision and decided to pitch at Joey Gallo.
Oh, yeah, that's how we set up for a horrible matchup.
The Yankee fans booing there was just absolutely hilarious. And yeah, Joey Gallo has been a disaster, and now they got Benny Biceps to be Joey Gallo 2.0, huh? But no, this game was it started off bad because you had Judge and Rizzo hit back-to-back home runs, and you thought, here we fucking go.
Mm-hmm.
And you thought, here comes second half Taijuan Walker again, the collapse. But then Jordan Montgomery, in case you didn't know, the Mets are his father, because just the fact they didn't get through 3 innings, just absolutely ridiculous. He allowed 4 runs. And his reaction when he was getting pulled out of that game, he's going, why? Why? You suck. That's why. You suck. But
baseballs were for sure juiced that game, but on a note. on another note.
100%. Both the Subway Series games, the balls were flying like crazy. And this was another game the Mets almost let slip away. You almost had a Rizzo grand slam in the 7th inning, I think that was.
Mm.
This was a scary game. Had me on the edge of my seat all night, but they won this one, and it's our World Series. But hey, Yankee fans, Aroldis Chapman had a clean inning that game, so you got something to celebrate there.
Absolutely.
But overall, this was not as nerve-wracking as the next game.
It was not. The Mets. Wait, you're talking about the second game against the Yankees?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it got a little dodgy, of course, in the 8th inning when Torres hit the bomb. But then the walk-off, I mean, holy crap. There's nothing better than that.
You scored 2 runs on Domingo Germán. You scored 2.
That was pretty pathetic.
I was not impressed, to say the least. You allowed him to get 7 strikeouts. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Bad.
Yeah, that piece of shit human being doesn't deserve anything good, and you should have fucked him up.
2 runs.
And the fact that you get 2 runs, nope.
Not good at all.
But thankfully, our birthday boy was better than theirs because Peralta, with a garbage fielding play, which Diaz had in that first game, which we forgot to talk about there. But
Oh yeah,
thankfully, he got out of it. Peralta couldn't, and the Mets had Starry Marte walk this one off. But Scherzer, this was a weird game for Scherzer. This was definitely the weirdest game that we've seen from him. Not a lot of strikeouts. Well, 6 strikeouts, but not a lot in terms of Scherzer. Usually you're seeing him get 10. You're seeing
yep.
him get in that 8 to 10 range. 6, a little low for him, but a lot of hard contact this game. I was not going to lie, I was nervous. I was nervous to say the least.
Me too. I mean, that was just like such a DeGrom type treatment game where they weren't doing much on freaking German, but yeah, they were. Max Scherzer had a masterclass game as usual,
This
but
is another game that had just little
yeah,
Mets written all over it. When
yeah, really,
Peterson came in, allowed that 2-run bomb, it was like, this is
yeah.
the old
That
Mets.
he thought there was no for sure,
This is the
but
old
they
Mets.
actually pulled
And
out.
yeah, and in my opinion, I don't know why Peterson was in the game still. I still have no idea because
Yeah,
this is one of his
he's
first
back
relief.
soon.
Yeah, this is one of his first outings where he's coming out of the pen. And yeah, throw him to the Wolves. Why
Against the
not?
Yankees.
Yeah, throw him to the Wolves in a
Yeah,
close
he's
game.
not set up for a horrible thing.
But we did find out why, because I thought that might have been the perfect spot to bring Drew Smith in. We found out why later on. He ends up going on the injured list the day after. So clearly he was unavailable. So I'll give Buck the pass there on that. But either way, you had to bring Seth Lugo in for pretty much the same amount of outs. So my question is, why not just bring Lugo in for the 2 innings? But you know what? The Mets still ended up winning, and that was definitely a fun one. Starring Marte. How about starring Marte?
Oh
It's a
yeah,
Marte party every day with this guy.
he's been insane like these last couple of weeks. I mean, he's batting over 300. He's such a good fielder too. He's everything the Mets asked for and more when they gave him that contract in the offseason. He's not a lot of words to describe how good he is.
And
Love
now
that.
you see why they let Michael Conforto go, Met fans,
Yeah.
because Michael Conforto would not do this. Because for me personally, I don't know how you feel, because I do want your opinions on Conforto after this. I was tired every single season hearing, this is the year Conforto's going to be an MVP candidate
Mhm.
every single season with this guy. And it just never happened.
Yeah. I mean, Michael Conforto, he just, I don't know. He didn't deserve a big contract, in my opinion. Actually, the Mets, they offered him a pretty big contract. Wasn't it like 4 years, 100,
I'm not
100
sure they
million?
offered him a contract. The only thing I know is they gave him the qualifying offer, which he turned down. But that's about it.
Yeah, he definitely, I don't know. He thinks he's probably better than he is turning down that qualifying offer. But I mean, yeah, I was not a huge Michael Conforto guy. He just wasn't very consistent. And yeah, as you said, like we always hyped him up for him to just be mid.
It was mostly Steve Gelbs. Just every opening day, they'd have him be like, "Yeah, this is the year that Conforto is the MVP candidate." He'd say it every season, and it just
My
never happened.
Yeah,
And
good decision to let him go.
completely agree. And Starry Marte in July, in 18 games, he's hitting 397 right now, 4 stolen bases, and 4 home runs right now, 10 RBIs. He has looked great. He had a great May as well. He hit 340 in May, 16 RBIs there, and 4 home runs. So very, very similar. He's looking great though so far. And those second half numbers, only 6 games, but hitting 423 already with 5 RBIs. Not too bad there. And I don't know how you feel, but I think he should be leading off instead of Nemo.
Um, I could see that point. I think that could work. I do like Nemo in the leadoff spot, though. I can't lie. He's just, I don't know. I love everything about Brandon Nemo. He's just everything you want. Contact guy. He could hit for a little bit of pop. His fielding, his speed, everything about Brandon Nemo's great. So, I mean, you could do either or, in my opinion. Both are.
Well, he showed me up
Okay.
yesterday, so that's for sure.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about that game because Brandon Nemo hits a late home run to win the Mets that game. Uh, yeah, he shut me up. I thought, not been great in the leadoff spot lately, but he shut me up, like I said. And this looked bad early. Bassett allowed
Oh,
3 runs in the first inning, and the Mets just tie it up next inning. So great to see the offense there again. Starry Martin coming through with that triple and 3 RBIs for him in total on the night. Have yourself a day. Then the Mets lost the lead again in the second inning, but fourth inning, they tie it up, and then they hit that late home run to win it. And the bullpen usage, I liked it a lot this game. Liked it a lot, although it sucks when you have to use Ottavino and Diaz in the same game. Diaz
Yep.
only threw 10 pitches because he's just been that guy this
Almost
year.
an immaculate inning.
I was so mad. I was so mad. Just let him have it. You're the Marlins. What are you doing? We're helping you tank. Come on.
Exactly.
We're
And they
trying to help you.
got some runs off Alcantara too. So yeah, it was the Marte and Nemo game yesterday. They were unreal.
Yes. And yes, thank you. It's Alcantara, not Alcantara. Mets broadcast booth.
Yeah.
You have no idea how much that bothers me when they say Alcantara. I'm like, it's Alcantara, man. It's Alcantara. Like, who's telling you this? But no, to get him out by the 5th inning was just absurd. Didn't help me in fantasy, but you know what? If it means the Mets win, we sacrifice fantasy baseball there. We take it there all day. We take it to the bank, even though I'm losing to the first place team. But we'll take it. The pitching's still going strong there, not the bats. But regardless, yeah, great game. Lindor, what? I mean, they're pitching around him lately. He had 3 walks yesterday.
Lindor, how many walks yesterday?
3.
3 walks, yeah. Yeah, I mean Lindor, if we're gonna look at him as a whole this season, he's been all right. Obviously, the fielding aspect of his game has not left. He's one of the best fielders in baseball, no doubt. But he's been better lately. I don't know, man. He's got to definitely do a little better at the plate for the money the Mets pay him. But as we said, down the road here into the playoffs, hopefully he could be that big player we know he could be.
Do we go down that rabbit hole with Lindor? Because I know people hate it, but it's the harsh reality. I'm sorry, but to me personally, you're paying a guy $341 million, and I know he's been pretty solid at the plate this year. He's definitely doing better than last year. He's doing solid. He's good defensively. But I'm sorry, for a guy that you're paying $341 million, to me, he's got to be in the conversation of elite with the plate, at the plate, batting. I think he's got to be. He's been great, but I would still like to see a bit more. I want that OPS. I want to see it above 800. I want to see that average above 265. I'm not that big of an average guy, but if you could get it above 265 there, I'm feeling pretty good if he's giving you that type of production more.
Yeah, I mean, where would you say you rank him in terms of how hitting on the team this year? 5, 6?
I mean, Alonso's been MVP level.
Oh,
not lately, but he's been MVP level this year.
Yeah.
Marte, I think, has been better. Do I say Nemo's been better?
That's a tough one. Tough one for sure.
McNeil, the problem with him for me is he's been streaky this year.
Yeah. He gets on hot streaks and then he disappears like yesterday. 1 for 5, not great. And yeah, as lately has been pretty bad. Hopefully he picks it up again.
Yeah, we need him to pick it up. And the fact that we're doing this without McNeil scorching hot right now is pretty ridiculous. But I'd probably say he's 4th or 5th on the team right now in terms of hitting.
Yeah.
Maybe
he's got to be
3rd.
top 8, for the money he gets paid. I mean, hopefully he picks it up here down the stretch. We'll see.
Yeah, and you know what, though? I mean, if he's going to walk a lot and you have Alonso's protection behind you, I do like that.
Take that. Absolutely.
And then you have Vogelbach now. But imagine that's JD Martinez instead. You have Lindor, Alonso, Martinez.
It's McNeil and Escobar. I know Escobar's not great, but to have him as your kind of last guy in the order, I mean, that sounds decent to me.
As long as Escobar is not hitting on the left side of the plate, because
he's atrocious.
Isn't he hitting 280 on the other side, and then
on the left he's
is
he below 200?
What'd you say?
Is he below 200 on the left?
He might be, honestly. He's okay. So hitting as a righty, He's hitting 268 with 19 RBI, 6 home runs. On the other side of the dish, 6 home runs. Okay. He's got more RBIs. All right. But he's hitting 199.
Just below 200. That is bad.
Yeah. You need to have Guillorme in there against right-handed pitching.
Yeah.
And
sure.
I hate to be the guy because I wanted to be wrong, but when we got Escobar, I was never sold on him being the everyday third baseman either way. I felt they still needed to get a guy to be the everyday third baseman like a Chris Bryant. But obviously Chris Bryant's been injured pretty much all year, but I want a guy like that. And I don't know. I like Escobar. He's been a bit better lately, but I wonder if the Mets do look for someone at third base at the deadline here. I doubt it, but
yeah,
you never know.
I could see it as like a next year type move. I mean, the deal was what, 2 years?
I actually don't even know.
20? Was it 20 million?
Oh, 20 million? No way. Was it actually?
Was it?
I'm actually gonna be a bit concerned if it was that. I'm not gonna. Oh yeah. Oh, 10 million per. All right. That's
10 million per.
I thought you meant. Okay, so it's 2 years, and then I'm trying to figure out if this. Okay, it's a club option the last year, which I can't imagine the Mets pick that up, especially if you hold on to Beatty. Beatty's definitely going to be the everyday third baseman by then.
Yeah, by next year. I mean, even next year, he could be the third baseman. Probably would be the year after that when.
I'd like to see him get a cup of coffee this year if they could.
Yeah, I would not mind that one bit. But
don't you miss when the full 40-man roster was up in September?
Yeah.
It was ridiculous, but it was so fun just having so many random guys. But it was also great. Like I feel like it should be a thing because how many times do pitchers get hurt down the stretch? And if you have all those arms in your bullpen towards the end of the year, it's just so much better. I feel like, especially when teams are getting blown out, it's like, all right, you could just bring in all these minor league guys and just let them be, let them roam free out there and see what they got.
Definitely pretty convenient.
Yeah, I missed that. I think they actually expanded it though back to 30, if I'm not mistaken, which I think that would be good if it's 30 instead of 28.
Yeah, definitely solid.
But either way, I'd imagine the Mets go 2 pitchers when that rolls around versus a batter and a pitcher or 2 batters.
Got a lot of pitchers. A lot.
Yeah, because especially in a league where you have the DH now, you might as well just bring up more pitchers. Granted, I mean, who do you even bring up?
Yeah.
Syracuse does not have a lot of sexy names when it comes to the bullpen.
Oh, yeah, the pitching is definitely pretty bad. It's really the bats that are doing us justice there.
I mean, Alex Claudio, Steven Nagosic, Yoan Lopez, really?
Oh, bad. These are not great names.
And some of these guys are on the active roster.
Are they really?
Yeah, Yoan Lopez and Steven Nagosic are on the active roster right now.
Yeah.
And Tommy Hunter.
Yeah.
Sam Clay.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you're getting Trevor May back next week, but I'm sorry, even just getting Robertson or just getting Tate or the good Lopez from the Orioles, that's not enough for me. You need more relief pitchers. This bullpen is just awful. It's awful.
There's really only a couple good, reliable guys. Besides that, there's not much to look to. They need to get Robertson, man, or just someone freaking competent.
If Lugo is really showing signs of bouncing back, that would just...
we need him to bounce back. I mean, where did he go from the Lugo from like a couple years ago?
And I'm pretty sure it's a contract year, so not a good year for you, Mr. Lugo, to have a down year. That's crazy that he's 32 years old, though, already.
He is 32, Seth Lugo?
I'm just looking now. I did not realize he was 32 years old. That's actually ridiculous.
Has he been with the Mets his whole career?
I think so, yeah.
He was, yeah. Drafted.
I remember him coming up in 2016. It's just like him and Gazelman that year. He's 32 already. I thought he was still in his mid-20s.
Yeah, really. 32. It's quite insane.
That's ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy to get Trevor May back. I know a lot of people aren't Trevor May guys. I myself do like Trevor May quite a bit, and I think that it's unfair to judge what he was doing at the beginning of the season, considering he was clearly hurt at the beginning of the year. So he'll be a huge piece to have back in the bullpen. And then, if you get Robertson and you get Chafin, night and day the difference. Night and day if your bullpen now you have Ottavino, Diaz, Robertson, May, and Chafin back there.
Oh yeah.
And then if Lugo bounces back.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that I like that quite a bit.
Oh yeah. I mean, if Hepler goes out there and freaking gets Robertson and Chafin, that bullpen goes from like freaking a 3 to like a 7. Pretty damn good.
I mean, yeah, no more Tommy Hunter, Yohan Lopez. I'm surprised though Medina's not up. I feel like he's better than some of those guys. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, not that he's a great name either back there, but we're lucky that we are where we are with the bullpen this bad. I mean, this is ridiculous looking at these names.
Yeah, you'd figure there'd be a lot of lull Mets moments this year with this bullpen, but thankfully there has not been many.
It's just weird because you look at 2019, it's kind of the same thing where you just had 2 good relief pitchers and the team's not treading water like it was in 2019. It's just so odd to me because then you just had Lugo and Wilson, who were the only good guys in that pen. The bullpen still just was garbage, but now I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just the difference in having Buck as the manager or what, and Hefner as the pitching coach, but it's definitely a lot better. And shout out to whoever it was who had the idea to put thank you, Luis Rojas, or welcome back, Luis Rojas, on the Jumbotron when he came back versus the Yankees and everyone got a chance to boo him because that's just great. I'm surprised Buck is better chance than start there.
Yeah, I wish.
But that is I don't know really if there's any much more to talk about when it comes to the Mets. I mean, you got the rest of the Marlins series coming up. You better win. And the National Series, you get Scherzer on Monday, DeGrom on Tuesday.
That is music to my ears. Please, can you stay healthy?
And I'm sorry to anyone if I just made you hard there, but
definitely got me a little bricked up.
But how could you not be? And then you get that 5-game series, which is weird to say against the Braves, which
5 games, wow.
Thanks to the rescheduled game from the lockout. That's going to be a brutal series. I'm definitely going to be at a lot of games during that series. I already got tickets to Friday, so if anyone's going Friday, see you there. But I'm going to try also to go Sunday just because DeGrom's lined up to pitch that day, and I got to be there for DeGrom's first appearance at Citi Field since its MLB debut, basically what it feels like. So
really
gotta hit up that game. I'm gonna be at a lot of Met games this coming up stretch here against the Braves, Reds, and Phillies here. So definitely we'll be there. I don't know if you're hitting up any games, so let me know.
Yeah, I might have to hit up one of these Braves games. These are going to be electric games for sure.
If you want to hit up Sunday, I'm down to go there. So
yeah, definitely got to take a look.
We'll talk off the podcast about that. So yeah. Keep an eye out for us on Sunday. We're celebrities out there, you know. We're the best Mets podcast. We're not the official Mets podcast, like the mets'd podcast, but we're just as cool, right?
We are
just as cool. We dunked on the Yankees just as much as them. Actually, no, they had a whole segment about the Yankees, about Yankee fans, which is funny.
Yeah, that's great.
Do you have anything else to say when it comes to the Mets? Because next episode will be about the deadline, which will be exciting.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Mets better make a couple of moves here. I mean, we saw a couple already, but they were pretty minor. Give me a Wilson Contreras. Give me a JD Martinez, Robertson. Like, please. We want to be excited going into this next podcast, not just depressed talking about freaking Trey Mancini.
Did I hear Mark Vientos?
Oh, no. God, no.
Mark Vientos and I don't know. I was trying to think of a random name. Thomas Zapaki comes up. There's your trade deadline. Let's go.
Really.
We're cooking. We're ready. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I don't have anything else to say. So yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to the first episode of Mets Talk. So yeah, again, leave a like if you did enjoy, subscribe if you guys are new, leave a review, rating, all that stuff if you're listening on Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever. Be sure to do all of that stuff. But thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you guys in the next one. Let's go, Mets.